All right, I've been talking. You guys can't hear a goddamn word I've been saying, but now you can. Now you should be able to hear a word I've been saying. Anyway, as I was saying, folks, you guys have got me tonight. I apologize, but it's just me. Smark had a few things come up tonight, and he's gonna take care of those. So right now for tonight, you guys got me, but we've got plenty of hold on one sec. My wife's asking me a question. My We've got plenty of stuff to get into tonight. Everything from Karrion Kross, which I'm glad I waited on because he did exactly what I said. He said he was going to put a video out, and he did. We've got stuff about WWE. We've got AEW. We've got Dynamite to get into, and a whole bunch of other stuff. But like I said, tonight it's just me, just me. So this is probably going to be a little quicker of a show as it usually is when it's just me talking here. So I'm just checking out my volume, making sure I'm okay. Might get a little more volume for you guys. That should be just right about there. And yeah, so man, it has been a week for it's been a crazy week for Karrion Kross, I can tell you that. So, but we're going to get in, or I am going to get into all that in just a minute or two here. But actually, I guess there's really no reason to sit here and do anything except get into it. Let me turn this dark mode on so it's not as bright in the screen for everybody. That'll help out a lot for everyone that's looking, listening, watching, all that good stuff. And we're going to go ahead and start off with the Karrion Kross stuff, which is pretty crazy. Um, I mean, you literally have the crowd chanting, we want Kross," no matter what Triple H says. They weren't champing. They weren't chanting, "We want Brock." No, no, sorry, Triple H. That is not what they were chanting, even though it's probably what you wanted them to be chanting. No, no. They were not chanting that. They were chanting, "We want Kross." Um, and they didn't get Kross, and the crowd was obviously wanted it. I don't understand WWE's little fascination with just not giving the crowd what they're asking for. Um, And by the way, last week I noticed there was a little lag in the video. I turned down my resolution, so hopefully that'll help out a little bit. Won't have the lag going on. I noticed it was especially on the video, obviously not in the audio, but on the video there was a little bit of a lag. So hopefully that fixed it. If there is a little bit of a lag still, let me know. I'll turn down what we're streaming at, and then we can kind of go from there. But anyway, um, yeah, Cross, the crowd's chanting. He's obviously over. The crowd wants him. And then suddenly there's all this contract talk. And that's why I wanted to wait last week, because there was talk that he was, oh, excuse me, folks. There was talk his contract was up. There was talk that maybe he was getting a new contract. There was talk maybe he wasn't getting a new contract. And honestly, when it comes to Cross, I've noticed he'll put out a video. He put out more than a video. He put out like a fucking hour and a half documentary on the all leading up to the day. Um, but after all everyone's speculation, he kind of came out and told us what was going on. And basically, in a YouTube video titled "My WWE Contract Ends Today," he revealed he was open to renegotiating his deal with the company, but a recent contract discussion didn't feel like a real conversation. Now, he was on Ariel Helwani, I don't know when, today or maybe yesterday, and basically said they didn't offer Scarlett a contract at all. So, but it looks as if they are right now gone from WWE, despite everyone saying, "Oh, it's a work. Oh, this is a work." Listen, folks, I know a lot of y'all got worked with the Seth Rollins thing. I know you're still upset, but playing with someone's employment like this is a little different. Um, and they've already announced that since their contract ran out, they don't have a 90-day non-compete or anything in their contract, so that contract's expired. So they're going to be announced for the big event at New York on Wednesday night. Kross and Scarlett will be there um, at the EXS Entertainment X Sports Expo, and they're going to do that. And there's going to be a little wrestling match, and that is what they are going to do. But and this was hours after the Helwani interview is when he started talking about this, and they started bringing this up. Um, but yeah, he stated that he was not given a contract offer until last week. And then when it finally came to the date, the company's, valuation, the offer was rescinded after a 24-hour deadline. So basically, he didn't answer him quick enough. So despite all that, they are showing up at some events, and it's it is kind of sad because, like I said, the crowd was so into him, and then just out of nowhere, we hear there's some contract issues. And like I said, once again, I'm glad that I waited because Kross will put out a video. He'll tell you what's going on. He doesn't like the dirt sheets going back and forth and fucking up the information. He doesn't like that. So he'll put out a video. But he also put out something on social media, and here it is right here. He says, and this was actually Scarlett, not Kross. Scarlett said, "My time in WWE has been an incredible ride, and I can truly say it's been the best locker room I've ever been a part of. These people aren't just coworkers, they're family. I love you all, and I'll deeply miss seeing you every week. To the fans, you've never just been a crowd. You've been our partners in every fight and the reason we give everything for this. From the bottom of my heart, thank you. The next chapter starts now, and I'm ready to bring something unforgettable to any stage, anywhere in the world. If you want the smoke show on your show, let's make it happen." Then she put her bookings and appearances and, Real Scarlett Bordeaux at yahoo.com. So they seem to 100% be gone from that company. I really don't want to. I Not everything's a work now because of Seth Rollins, folks. Can we, can, can, I get it. Seth Rollins worked everybody. I get it. I do. I understand. But I don't think they would play with anyone's employment like this. I know there was that time when Punk was supposedly, fired and left with the belt, but he was back a week later. They really should have had him doing a lot more. They should have had him. I still say they should have had Punk going out on the indies and doing this and doing that, but they didn't do that. That's what they should have done with him for like a month and a half. Make it really seem like it's like it's not a work, but they didn't do it. But I think to this extent, to go on Ariel Helwani, to be taking bookings, to do this, I do not think WWE would go to these lengths to do that. I just don't. I don't think they would do it. Um, so I might be wrong, but I don't think I am. I don't think this is a work. I think it's kind of crazy to think that this is a work. This is a guy's job, not just a work. But I mean, these two are definitely over with the crowd. And like I said, it's just a little baffling of this company to do some of the things they're doing now. But it's also not like, or it's also just like WWE to get rid of someone, or not like it when you get over organically without the help of the machine. They really don't like when you get over without the machine behind you. That's really not a good thing for them. They hate that. They hate it. They they always have. Um, I mean, you go back and think, you go back to like Matt Cardona. My God, they couldn't stand the fact that he got over with the crowd on the internet and they were not pushing him. They couldn't stand it. So they created this wonderful angle they had with, first he was thrown off the stairs by Kane, then he then he was embarrassed by John Cena in front of his girl, and it just kept getting worse and worse for the guy. And then, it was a long time, but they finally did get rid of him, and he's really made a name for himself on the indies, thank God. But I mean, will Karrion and Scarlett go on the indies? Possibly. It looks like they're going to start out doing a few things there. Why not? They're probably going to get pretty decent money. And I'm sure they probably come as a pair, which is fine. The guy enjoys working with his wife, which, if it works for them, none of my fucking business. I would enjoy working with my wife too. So there you go. He gets to work with his wife. They do their thing, and I don't see anything wrong with it. Let me close my work email so it doesn't make noise in case I get an ad. But I don't know, and I don't know if they would end up back in TNA. Possibly. Scarlett at least got to fucking wrestle there, which I believe is one of her aspirations, is to have a singles career again. So that would be great for her. And, possibly a TNA, possibly an AEW. I think right now it's too early to judge. Um, AEW, I'll be honest, I don't think they need anyone new right now. I think they are running very well with what they're doing, with who they have. They already have enough guys that aren't being pushed on their roster. I think it would be a little ridiculous to take on not just Kross, but Scarlett too, when their women's division is doing good with who they have. They've just brought up Alex Windsor. And I just don't see I don't think AEW needs to bring anyone in right now, is what I'm saying. Maybe if they lose a couple of guys, Will Ospreay's already back. He was only gone a week or two. So it's not like they're losing anybody. I just think at this point, Kross would get lost in their shuffle. Um, Listen, TNA is strategically looking for a deal. So a TV deal. And with the WWE, not machine, but the WWE partnership under their belt, it might be a little easier for them to get that TV deal, knowing that, other with companies knowing that they're going to have a backing if the fit hits the shan, you know what I mean? So it's possible. Well, yeah, definitely possible that could happen. Um, but I think he'd be better off in a TNA right now. I think AEW is kind of running on their own steam, running on their own cylinders. They've got kind of a pecking order of who they're pushing right now, and the shows seem to be flowing well. So I've been enjoying them. I don't know. I hope y'all have been enjoying them. So anyway, um, once again, I'm glad we waited because Kross has had a few interviews since last week. He's had a few bookings. So, definitely already getting out there and kicking ass, which is good. I'm happy for both of them. I hope they go out there and make a name for themselves. And listen, this is not Kross's first run in WWE. This is the second one after all the other bullshit. Um, True North Packers fan. Boxman going solo tonight? Yes, sir, I am. Maybe if Cheeseman went solo more often, he'd have less kids. He probably would. He probably would. I don't think I can disagree with that. But y'all are fucking funny, man. I gotta tell y'all are hilarious. But yeah, that's the whole thing with Karrion, Kross, and Scarlett, and the baffling decision by TKO and WWE to get rid of them when they are pretty much right now. I hate to say, but they're kind of on top, and they were. The crowd was begging for them. But what are you going to do? WWE has made a lot of crazy decisions over the years, and there's nothing we can do about it. I, I, I I definitely believe, and I think a lot of you will agree, there is not much this company can do that would have me going, "Oh, I can't believe they did that." Nothing this company does shocks us anymore. They do stupid stuff. They they th- th- they don't strike while the iron's hot with storylines, with when someone's over. I mean, they'll start doing something that was popular 3 years ago, and then they're like, wait, maybe we can make a gimmick out of that. They fuck up everything that's good. Fandango. Remember when they were doing the whole Fandango thing, the whole crowd? And what did they do? They brought Jerry Lawler's old ass. Look, I love Jerry Lawler, but they brought Jerry Lawler's old ass up there in the ring to try to make it cool. That was the dumbest thing they could have done. I swear to God. It was already dying out, but I think Jerry Lawler just stomped it the fuck out when they had him in there trying to be cool doing it. Nobody wants to fucking see that. Nobody wants to see that. Nobody wants to see that. Nobody wanted to see that. WWE always has done a lot of things wrong. And trust me, every company does fucking weird shit, wrong shit. But there is nothing WWE can do that would shock me, that would have me just going, oh my God, I can't believe they did this. Maybe if they put Benoit in the Hall of Fame, I would change my mind. I would go, okay, color me shocked. Finally, color me shocked. Didn't think that would ever happen. So there's one thing that might actually shock me enough for that, but that's probably it. I don't think there's much more. Um, but WWE put Michelle McCool in the Hall of Fame. Name my favorite Michelle McCool match. Um, I don't know, Michelle McCool and Alicia Fox. There we go. You know where that just came from. What's up there, Norab? Good to see you, my man. He has breaking news. Ace Austin is with AEW now. When did that happen? I didn't see that. Really? Really? Do I want the Rabid Wolverine in the Hall of Fame? No, I don't. Um, Listen, I've definitely given my opinions on the Hall of Fame. It's a fake Hall of Fame for a fake sport. It was in our intro for a long time. None of that matters. This guy should get no recognition. He killed his wife. He killed his kid. And I hate to be completely blunt about this, but thankfully he killed himself. So we didn't have to go through any of this. His David Benoit didn't have to go through any stuff to, all this shit. But anyway, I hate to put it like that because David Benoit went through hell with his dad dying, and I don't think he should pay for his father's sins. No, I don't. And I've said that before. But that name has a stigma in the business. You can rename him all you want. I'm sorry. The guy looks like his father. He has the eyes. I'm sorry. I don't mean to be mean. I'm not trying to be an asshole, but he does. He looks like his father. So what's this on Howard Stern he's showing me? I can't pull up links, man. I can show them, but I can't pull them up. I don't think there's any way to do it. Let me see here. Nope, and I don't want to block you, so I'm not going to even click that. Let's click away from that. Yeah, let's just click something here. Yeah, I can't do that, but it says private recorded tapes have former Howard Stern intern Stuttering John Melendez suing former Stern employee. Yeah, I don't know. You'd have to yeah, Nora, but I feel bad for the family too. The Benoit family that's, the surviving Benoit family. I do. I feel bad because they're going to unfortunately pay for their father's sins. And they shouldn't. That's not the way life should go. You shouldn't have to do that. You are not your father. You did not do what he did. Unfortunately, what he did was reprehensible. And it's just tough. Listen, I said a long time ago, you want to put that kid in a mask, send him out there, change his name, I'd probably be fine with it. I am not saying he doesn't deserve a career if he wants a career in wrestling. He absolutely does. He deserves to still live out his dreams like anyone else in this world. Gives a shit, whose son he is. Doesn't matter. He should still be able to do whatever he wants to do, you know, and if that is his dream, he should be able to do it, but might just have to do it under a mask. It's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying, and I mean, a name change isn't gonna help. He looks like his dad. He does, and that's not a bad thing or anything. He does. He looks like his father. Ah, needed a sippy. So, anyway, I'm just saying I don't know. It's a very tough subject because, no, I don't think he belongs in the Hall of Fame. I don't. Uh, David Benoit debuts as Vampiro Jr. and feuds with Dom. Face paint might not be so bad. It might work, but that's by the end of the match that comes off, no, I don't think face paint's gonna be the good shit. So, but I don't know. It's a very touchy subject, the Benoit thing. Some people think he still deserves to be in the Hall of Fame, and I kind of get that vibe, but I personally don't think he deserves any recognition after the reprehensible stuff he did, you know? And I'm sorry if that sounded mean when I said that. Thankfully, he killed himself, but I'm sorry. I what if he got away with it? I'm sorry. What if he actually fucking got away with it? Look at OJ. Y'all can take that however you want. It is totally up to you. It is totally up to you to construe that however you'd like. Now, let's go back a little bit. Speaking of Paramount, WWE, TKO, UFC, but not really WWE. But now we can talk a little bit of UFC because they're in bed with TKO under the same umbrella. All right, before we get to this, we can go ahead and see what NORAD was talking about here. Former Howard Stern intern and Tonight Show announcer Stuttering John Melendez has sued former Howard Stern paid employee Shuli Eager. I don't know who that is. In a 31-page court filing, the 59-year-old actor, my God, did they really call him an actor? Claims that private phone calls between him and 25-year-old aspiring comedian and actress Kate Meany were recorded without his knowledge. Interesting. Interesting. Like, so he's waiting until Howard Stern's show is ending. Then he's going to sue. Well, he's not suing Howard. In the taped conversations, Melendez speaks explicitly with Meany and discusses his personal life, including his children. Ew, that's in the suit. Melendez accuses Eager. I hope I may not be saying that name right. It might be Egger. I don't know. No disrespect to anyone if I'm saying it wrong. of coercing Meanie into creating the scandalous tapes stating Eager had been publicly ridiculing Mrs. Meanie on his shows, Miss Meanie, not Mrs., excuse me, Ms., and promised to cease the harassment if she provided him with recorded conversations with Melendez. This is very, um, the former intern added, threatened Miss Meanie that if she did not help him record new conversations with the plaintiff, he would publicly, waiting for the next post, folks, publicly, publicly, he would publicly spread false rumors that Miss Meanie had a romantic relationship with the plaintiff, Melendez. Oh, dude, this is such. I'm moving on, brother. So let's move on. Let's move on a little bit. So as I was saying, TKO, UFC, and Paramount made a little, not a little announcement, a huge announcement. $1 billion announcement, a 7-year term, which will pay around 1.1 billion a year, and average annual value of 1.1 billion a year. So that is crazy. But here we go. Starting in 2026, we are going to see. I'm going to put a little bit of I'm put a picture up here if you guys don't mind. You guys don't need to stare at me the whole time. You know it, and I know it. Hold on a minute. I have 2 of those open. That's the one I want to look at. That's the one I want to open. God damn it. There we go. All right. So they're all joining forces, these companies. A lot of mergers happening lately, and UFC is UFC has obviously decided that they're going to do a lot more with streaming. So starting in 2026, Paramount will exclusively distribute UFC's full slate of 13 marquee numbered events and 30 fight nights via its direct-to-customer streaming platform, Paramount Plus, with select numbered events to be simulcast on CBS. They're actually talking about the White House thing on July 4th, going to be on CBS. Look, once again, folks, I don't care. If it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't. I don't give a shit. I don't fucking care. Either way, I got to get up the next morning and go to work, just like all of you do. All of you got a life to live too. So there you go. Now, I don't know if this has anything to do. Well, I will say this. I mean, these guys were one of the last of the pay-per-view, dinosaurs out there. So pay-per-view is really dying. Streaming is 100% becoming what these companies are going to be doing in, I would say, within the next 3 to 5 years. Pay-per-view is going to be pretty much dead. There's going to be no reason for it. It's going to go the way of cable. Cable's going to be pretty much dead soon too, I believe. Now, as part of the agreement, UFC and Paramount will move away from UFC's existing pay-per-view model in favor of making these premium events available at no additional cost to the expansive US subscriber base of Paramount Plus. The shift in distribution strategy will unlock greater accessibility and discoverability for sports fans and provide an important catalyst for driving engagement and further subscriber growth for Paramount Plus. Paramount intends to explore UFC rights outside the US as they become available in the future. This is fucking brilliant. This is brilliant, folks. I'm sorry. I think it is. I really do. I think this is a very, very good move on their part. What they just said is 100% right. They are going to get bigger audience, more global audience. Paramount Plus is much cheaper than their pay-per-views. I mean, if you know what their seats go for, folks. I mean, their seats are ridiculous. in prices, even for like nosebleeds. I believe they're crazy, $400 or $500. But it said today was David Ellison, the chairman and CEO of Paramount, said, I couldn't be more excited to join forces with Dana, Ari, Emmanuel, and Mark. Rarely do opportunities arise to partner on an exclusive basis with a global sports powerhouse like UFC, an organization with extraordinary global recognition, scale, and cultural impact. There you go. So, everybody basically reached out and was saying how great this is, and this is going to be awesome. If you're a UFC fan, this should actually make you happier because you're going to get to see a lot more UFC for a much better price. I don't know exactly how much were the UFC PPV price. Let's see. Let's see what a price for a pay-per-view would go for. All right. So let's see. You can get them $79.99 per event. $79.99 per event. Now I know you can get a few different things to get it, a little different. Trust me, I know. But if you're a UFC fan who buys the pay-per-views, holy shit, you're probably jumping up and down because this is an incredible fucking deal at this point for you. I mean, this is great. I actually think I have Paramount Plus through something. I think through Amazon. I think through Amazon Prime, I got Paramount Plus, or vice versa. I don't know. One way or the other. Mic check. One way or the other, I believe I have that. I believe I do. So I would love to watch pay-per-views again, especially UFC pay-per-views. I love UFC. I'd love to get back into it. That'd be awesome. I'm looking forward to it. So there's that right there. Yeah, like I said, if you're a fan of UFC and you are buying those pay-per-views, you don't have to spend $80 a month anymore. That's a great thing. And like you said, that's going to be overseas. It's going to be everywhere. VPNs now, it doesn't matter where you are, even if you're not overseas, you can sign on and do stuff. Everyone knows this. I'm not giving out any secret society secrets or anything. But let's go ahead and talk a little bit about Charles Robinson, everybody. Lil Naitch, we know him. We love him. We all love him. Well, he had a weird little thing happen to him. He's had a rough year, a rough couple months actually. He's taken a few bumps. Goldberg busted up his rib. Now he was on Wednesday morning. He revealed that he had been bitten by a bat. You heard me right. You did. You heard me right. He great picture of him in the hospital in a great mood. He did always got a smile on his face. I swear to God, he does. And Instagram post says, great way to start the morning. 2 a.m. and got bit by a bat, Robinson wrote. That's right, a bat. 4 hours later in the ER and 6 shots. Boy, and right after Ozzy passed. I mean, this is what great timing this is. This is crazy. But yeah, he's been bitten by a fucking bat. I don't know how rare that is or not rare that is to be bitten by a bat, but it doesn't sound like something that would happen every day. I don't know. I'm not sure where Mr. Robinson lives, but that's pretty fucking scary. Bats are scary in the first place. They're scary little creatures, in my opinion. They they really are. I'm not the biggest fan of bats. Um, I had a friend who had a bat. Fucking scary is what it was. Look, it wanted to suck my blood. Blah, 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 blah. I I just don't like them. Look like fucking snakes with wings to me. Big fucking teeth. I just don't like them. I just don't like them. Leave me alone. I'm sorry. I don't have to like them. But anyway, we got Charles Robinson, man, get better. Get better, dude. And stop doing this crazy shit. What the fuck were you doing at 2 a.m. outside anyway? You should be sleeping like a normal person, not out where bats are doing crazy shit. God damn it, Charles. We need you. We need you, Lil Naitch. We all need you. So be careful when you're out there, okay? All right. Yeah, I just thought I'd bring that up real quick. So we got a few more things to get into. Like I said, this is going to be a quicker show. If it's just me, Smark gave me plenty of time to let me know, but I got enough, folks, and we'll knock out Dynamite very quickly. Another smooth moving show, so it won't be that hard to do. But we've only got 3 or 4 more things to get into here, and then we'll get into that. But a few quick things now. There is a TMZ documentary coming out soon, or I think it might have already come out. It came out yesterday or tonight, maybe, but it came out, or it's coming out. But my wife is home, so if you hear the dogs barking, so it's an upcoming documentary for Hulk Hogan, and I saw the trailer for it. Doesn't look like they're trashing him that much in it on TMZ, which surprises me. Just a trailer, so I haven't seen the whole documentary yet, but we will see. Um, it's called TMZ Presents The Real Hulk Hogan. It's a 1-hour documentary on the life of the late professional wrestler. It's scheduled to air 8 p.m. tonight. I think this article was from yesterday, so it probably aired last night on Fox. The show will feature comments from many prominent names, both within and outside the industry. Yeah, my wife's home. Among those involved will be McMahon, per a trailer of the show released. And that is where everyone is talking. This does not even look like the same man. This does not look like, this looks like a Disney villain. This does not look like Vince McMahon, folks. I'm sorry. Oh my God, this looks like a beaten man. This looks like he looks a little bloated. Looks like he had his eyes done. His eyebrows look like looks like he had Botox in his forehead. He just doesn't look, it looks like he's gotten the plastic surgery bug, which is really bad. Just not looking good. And I think most people would agree with that he's not looking great. Look, I wish he did. I'm not getting into the whole Janelle Grant thing tonight. Just not going to do it. We all know what's going on with it. If you don't, fucking Google it. Chat GPT it. There you go. Chat GPT it, folks. That'll get you through it right there. But yeah, it just does not look like the same Vince that we all know and some of us love. Others in it that are going to be Charlotte Flair, Jimmy Hart. Jimmy Hart looks amazing, but very sad. You can tell Jimmy Hart lost a good friend. And folks, we can sit here and judge and say all we want, but these people in the documentary knew him, like talked to him, spoke to him, knew him in a way where none of us did. So Whatever. Listen, I hate to bring up Benoit again, but it's like when Chris Jericho talks good about Benoit. Chris Jericho knew him in a way that none of us did. And if he chooses to remember his friend and the good times, who the fuck am I to say he can't do that? So Jimmy Hart definitely lost a really good friend. Mark Henry, Sylvester Stallone, got a little Sly coming in. Another one who looks bad. I wish he'd stop doing movies. I'm tired of seeing him in a hairpiece. Don't want to see it. But McMahon's kind of remained out of the public eye. He had the one little documentary a while back, and this was kind of his his moment back. But I don't know. Is this a set from Dracula? No, no. This looks more like Hotel Transylvania. This looks more Hotel Transylvania to me, man. I don't know. The guy just doesn't look well. I mean, like I said, you can see the eyes. Those are not his eyes. I mean, they're his eyes, but they're not. He definitely had Botox in his forehead because there's not a wrinkle in his forehead. But he looks like he had his eyes done. And man, I don't know. Hope he doesn't get that bug because he already looks weird. But yeah, there's Vinny. There's Vinnie Mac and this TMZ. Like I said, I watched the trailer. It didn't look like they were totally down on him, but we'll have to see. I do expect it's TMZ, so I expect them to get into the the racial comments he made and more. So we'll definitely get all that figured out. I need another sip, everybody. So let's get into WWE once again is set to counter program yet another AEW event. Look, folks, I totally agree. This is business. I get it. Just like I said, movies come out when other movies come out. It's a competition. It's life. It's Hollywood. It's what this is about. It's what this whole world is about. Competition. I find it comical though that they keep doing this. I do. I really do. But I mean, this is business. I am not going to sit here and shit on WWE for doing this because this is what business is. If you can do this, do it. And you know what? I don't think it really makes any difference to anybody. Everyone watches what they want to watch. You can watch everything later. It's not like you're stuck watching one show or no shows. That's not how it is anymore. But AEW did announce that in Toronto on September 20th, they are doing All Out. So, so there you go. That's going to be once again September 20th out there in the Scotia Bank Arena. What the fuck is wrong with me? Scotia Bank Arena. I believe it's Scotia Bank Arena. And, you can start getting tickets already. So this was a while ago. This was actually in May when they did this. So WWE knew about this. So WWE decided to jump on board and it's going to be a little similar to what they're doing. Actually, this month we've got Heat Wave and Forbidden Door both scheduled for August 24th, which will be next week. So we'll talk about Forbidden Door next week. And now, this is according to John Pollock and Brandon Thurston of Post Wrestling. WWE will be adding a PLE. They're adding an event on September 20th in Indianapolis, Indiana, which is the same day as the All Out pay-per-view. So that is what they are doing. Sorry, folks. I find this funny. I know a lot of people are losing their mind. Oh, they say they're not competition, blah, blah. Of course, they say they're not competition. You know what your competition says? That you're not competition. That's exactly what your competition says. Look, folks, I'm in a business where I compete with other companies for business. It's exactly what I do. I sell packaging supplies. You guys all know this: boxes, tape, stretch wrap, whatever. People are already buying those because they're already shipping stuff. I have to go in and compete and try to get the business, not only on price, but whatever else I can, legally, whatever else I can. I try to get business, I'll drop off donuts in the morning, just lunches, things like that. Nothing, nothing bad or anything. I don't do anything like that. But that's what I do. I go in and I have competition. So that's what business is about. It is about competing. And when someone asks me about another company, I say they are not competition. You know why? They don't have me. They don't have me working for you. I'm going to bust my ass to make sure if you got a problem, I'm going to get your fucking boxes to you. Whatever it is, boxes, tape. And believe it or not, people run into these problems every day. Oh shit, my guy forgot to order tape. Oh shit, my guy forgot to order stretch wrap. Oh shit, my guy's a fucking dumbass and didn't tell me we were out of fucking poly bag. Happens every day. Every day this happens. So, this is what it is. I always tell people we don't have competition because my competition doesn't have me. We don't have any competition out there. We can do anything they can do. And if we can't, we'll find someone who can do it with us. We will find a partner to do it. So that's what I do. That's it. It's simple. It's kind of fun, to be honest with you. And I'm actually working for a new company right now, a manufacturer out of Dallas, and I'm having a great time working for this company. It has been so refreshing, what I'm doing. And I know what you might be thinking. Last year at this time, I was looking to get a job. Actually, one more day will be the day I signed the contract with the new job. So, yeah, I was exactly this time last year looking for a place. But I think I have found a home, not just a place to work. I think I found a home. So, I need it, folks. I turned 50 last week. I'm ready for it. I'm ready for it. So yeah, but meanwhile, this is what AEW and WWE are doing. I know it pisses Tony Khan off. It shouldn't. Tony Khan should actually say, I love when they do this. This is fucking great. This is great. Gives fans a choice. Really doesn't. It kind of makes fans decide. Gives fans a choice. They want to watch WWE, they can watch. They want to watch me, they can watch. It's great. It's awesome. Tony Khan should not let this shit bother him. You know why? That would bother your competition if it didn't bother you. That's why WWE says that AEW isn't competition, because it pisses Tony Khan off. That's exactly why he does it. Because when he does it, Tony Khan goes on some fucking Twitter tirade like he shouldn't be doing, or goes on some fucking, Mama and Papa of Wrestling podcast and complains and calls WWE the Harvey Weinstein of wrestling or some bullshit, which, whatever. But, that's how Tony Khan should handle this. He should be, it's great. I don't mind them doing it at all. This is what it's all about, competition. Like I said, folks, when movies come out, one movie doesn't come out in a week. You get two or three come out. That's what happens. This is the business. If Tony Khan doesn't get it, might want to go to a different business. I'm sorry. It's just not what he should be doing. I get it. He's not used to this, because no one goes up against fucking, NFL, but this is what it is now. So whatever. Um, Suck it up, Tony. Get used to it. I know I don't think he's come out and complained about it yet, but he will. He will. So we do have, they're calling this gentleman AEW original. I would call him a Lucha Underground original. But he's now working for the company backstage as a producer And that would be Angelico, folks. Um, I know I'm not the biggest fan of Angelico, and I was in Lucha Underground. I just think he's got a stupid little dance, and he comes out and he's not a quarter of what he was in Lucha Underground. I don't know what he was trying to do, but I didn't like him and Jack Evans together. I'm sorry. But looks like now he is actually working behind the scenes for AEW. According to Sean Ross Sapp of Fightful, he's been working as a coach and a producer backstage for the whole year, for 8 months with the company. And the latest match he produced was the Megan Bain against Emily Rose for Collision. So now Serpentico, which was his Ring of Honor tag team partner, is also doing the same thing backstage. He's a producer and an agent. So, few of these guys, look, sounds like Tony's starting to get his shit together, starting to get his company together, starting to delegate some things to these guys, which is what needs to be done if he's got too much on his plate. That's exactly what he needs to be doing. Exactly what he should be doing, because if he can't handle it, someone needs to. But good for Angelico, and I didn't know that about Serpentico either. So good for both of those guys back there. That's pretty fucking awesome. So anyway, they're out there yelling, not yelling, but just being loud. So got a couple more things to get into, folks. Then we can knock out of here after AEW. Mm-hmm. One more sip. All right. There's only one left, so I won't. Not one left, but there's only one sip left, and I need another one. So, folks, we all know Seth Rogen and all those guys, Seth Rogen and James Franco and Danny McBride. We all know Danny McBride. Hilarious. If you ever seen Eastbound and Down, we got Danny McBride in that show being Danny McBride. He is actually kind of joining Major League Wrestling, an event on November 20th in Charleston, South Carolina. I got family there, goddammit. And he's actually producing an MLW show in order to promote his tequila. They're actually titling it MLW Ex Don Gato Lucha de los Muertos. It will be live on BEIN Sports, BEIN Sports, and MLW's YouTube channel. Tickets will start at $15. Go on sale August 19th, and McBride will be promoting his tequila, but he will not be wrestling himself. He will not be wrestling. In a statement, he said he had to use charm and constant nagging to convince the reluctant Don Gato to participate after injuries from spearfishing in Cambodia. Meanwhile, actor Paul Walter Hauser, known for roles in Naked Gun and the Fantastic Four, will serve as an executive producer and compete in the event. MLW owner Court Bauer called the partnership with Don Gato Tequila the ultimate super team up. So there you go. Danny McBride jumping into the wrestling world. Here we go right here. Got a picture of Danny McBride, Don Gato. And the guy on the right was actually in Eastbound and Down with him. I forget his name, but he's hilarious. But he was in Eastbound and Down with him. It was very funny. But there you go. Wrestling has become the new alcohol promotion. I mean, you got Wheatley Vodka, you got Rey Mysterio promoting, I forget the name of the beer he promotes. Now you got Don Gato Tequila. I mean, my God. I can't wait till we start getting Foreman grills and shit, man. That'd be fucking awesome. That'd be fucking awesome. Anyway, folks, I didn't want to spend a lot of time on that. But I think it's cool though. I thought it was kind of a cool little story, so I decided to throw it out there. All right, let's get into the last little bit of news I have, and we'll go ahead and talk about this now. Over there with our neighbors to the north, Canada, there was a wrestling match. Not a short wrestling match. Not at all. No, 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 no. This was the world's longest wrestling match, and it was basically a 22-hour match. Now, this was a Canadian wrestling match. This was live streamed on Twitch. It broke the unofficial record for the longest pro wrestling match ever. They tried to contact Guinness, but Guinness wouldn't recognize it because you have to pay Guinness to come out there and recognize this. They had to pay. They would have had to pay $16,000 minimum U.S. money in order to get them out there, and they just didn't want to spend that. This was a charity show, folks. These guys raised a good amount of money for charity. Evil Uno was involved in this and a few others, but they raised $36,900 for the Canadian Cancer Society. The match was on August 11th and 12th. It took place over all day. So there you go. I this sounds ridiculous. I get it, but $36,900, that is fucking awesome. This is the crew that made it happen. Right here, you see Evil Uno in the background. You got Stu Grayson there also, and it looks like they were with a bunch of younger guys, probably some members of the of a wrestling school out there, and they were that was it. 21 hours, 44 minutes and 34 seconds, an unofficial Guinness record. So I know there's not a lot to this story, but I saw how much they raised over that time, and that is pretty awesome to do. And that was also obviously through Twitch donations and things like that. So $36,900 raised by these guys. 16 grand would have been a lot, and obviously realizing that they were doing this for charity, I think 16 grand would have been ridiculous to spend, and I think they realized what that would have looked like had they done that. So definitely awesome at for what they did. Really, really cool thing that they did, and I'm glad they got to raise all that money. That was great, great, great thing that they did, and a great thing to go to the Canadian Cancer Society. Pretty cool, but man, that's a long fucking match. I mean, if you look at the picture I posted, there's even one of the guys is sleeping. Let me get rid of this. He's sleeping down there on the right in the front. It looks like he's passed out. So good for them, though. Good for them doing what they did. That's really awesome. Like I said. Anyway, we can go ahead, folks, jump into AEW. Don't have a ton to talk about. It wasn't an incredible show, but I did think it was a good show. We had the opening with Hangman Page and MJF, the face-to-face. It was a pretty heated segment. They were kind of going back and forth. Pretty much what happened is Hangman baited MJF into signing a contract for them to have a match officially at Forbidden Door. It was pretty cool. It wasn't that bad. I liked the segment. I'm not going to lie. Then we had a match. We had Jon Moxley versus Kevin Knight. It was all coming down and, all going down. Moxley did win that match. He defeated Kevin Knight by submission. After the match, we had Darby come out. He had a body bag he was dragging behind him. Quickly outnumbered, Death Riders went and pretty much attacked him pretty fast. But the segment was interrupted by Will Ospreay, who came to the aid of Darby Allin. Now, we know he was supposed to be having a neck injury, but he said it was treatable and just needed a little time off. He took a little time off. So what he did is he issued a challenge for the lights out steel cage match at Forbidden Door. It means an unsanctioned steel cage match at Forbidden Door. He's going to get him, Darby Allin, and then he announced Tanahashi later on in the show. And then, like 5 minutes later, we get the picture for the match. And I'm like, y'all got this already done. What the fuck? So it's the Death Riders, the Gabe Kidd, and the Young Bucks, because we saw John Moxley go into the Young Bucks back room after he found out Tanahashi was in there. Young Bucks, Gabe Kidd, and Death Riders versus Darby Allin, Tanahashi, Will Ospreay, Kenny Omega, and Kota Ibushi. That was quick because Will Ospreay said he had to confirm a few things. He confirmed shit that fast? Do you know what fucking time it is in Japan, bitch? Nobody was answering the phone, bro. You know what fucking time it is? It's the next fucking day, dumb shit. Anyway, that match is happening. I just kind of jumped the gun a little bit on what was going on there, but that whole match is going down. And after all that, we had the Willow Nightingale, Alex Windsor, Queen Aminata versus Mercedes, Monet, Thekla, and Sky Blue. Julia Hart was down there. Tony Storm was sitting up in the balcony watching the match. They both kind of had an equalizer with those two people, so that wasn't that was kind of cool. So we had Willow Nightingale, Alex Windsor. They did end up. They ended up, and Queen Aminata ended up winning the match. Windsor secured the victory, made Sky Blue tap out. Also gave us a good shot of her butt. Damn near pulled her pants off at one point. Not bad. Where does one buy a body bag? Packers fan is asking. That's a great question. I do not know. I do not know. Where would one buy a Amazon? I'd say Amazon. Amazon, you can get anything on Amazon. Yeah. Yeah, I'd say Amazon. You can get one there. Anyway. So following the match, of course, after the match, they're brawling between Tony Storm and Athena because they started up in the crowd, ended up down there. Now they're going to face each other for the women's championship at Forbidden Door already, but the segment ended with Tony Storm issuing a challenge for a tag team match next week with Athena and Mercedes against Tony Storm and Alex Windsor. That's going to be a good match. Tony Storm is still absolutely crushing this character. It seems to be getting better. She's got more sexual innuendo going on, and it's even funnier how she's pulling this character off. She's just very talented, folks. I just don't understand how WWE could have not seen anything in this girl. Baffles me. Completely baffles me. But anyway. Oh, Packers fan wants to know if Americans will have to pay tariff on that pay-per-view since it was from Canada. I don't think you have to pay on Twitch. It was live streamed. That's the good thing about live streaming. Holy shit, folks. So then we had Adam Copeland versus Stokely Hathaway, folks. Folks, we've been talking about this for a few weeks, this reconciliation with Edge or Cope and Christian. This match was what it was. You had Stokely trying to get out of it, doing everything he could, doctor's notes and all kinds of shit. It was it was a comedy match, and that's what it was supposed to be. You had Cope talking to the audience, and all this shit. It was funny. Cope was having a good time. Ended in a no contest. FTR interfered. They violated their so-called restraining order, I guess you could call it. That allowed Christian to come down, and he had Spike, the barbed wire board. Really, it just looks like a big toothbrush with nails in it. And he got FTR out of there. Nick Wayne and Kip Sabian came down to try to get him. Copeland hit Kip with a hell of a spear. Nick Wayne got taken out. And next thing you know, crowd's chanting, hug it out. I got to tell you, the crowd loved this reunion with these two. Now, no one's saying they're back completely together, but I said I think they'll be back together by Forbidden Door. I said this a few months ago. If you guys remember, I've been telling you this was leading to this. Edge and Christian versus FTR. I am not the only one, and I am not trying to take any credit here where it doesn't belong, because it doesn't belong with me. I'm just saying this is where I've seen it going. That's definitely where it's headed, and it's going to be good. The crowd was loving this. They're waiting to see it. They've been wanting it, so that'll be pretty cool. But anyway, we had that Will Ospreay segment, which I already pretty much talked about, so we can leave that alone. Then we had Takahashi, Brody King, Hologram, and Ishii, who he's eating good here, folks. He's eating good in the U.S. Versus the Young Bucks, Kyle Fletcher and Josh Alexander. Yeah, Ishii eating good. That's all I'm saying. Still loving what they're doing with the Young Bucks. I really do. They come out, they got the wrong bullshit pyro, no entrance music. The graphic for Mr. Instant Replay and Slick Nick, which I believe are their first gimmicks in the wrestling business. But this was a good match pretty much throughout. Like I said, the Tanahashi, Brody, King, Hologram, and Ishii did win the match. The babyfaces won this match. But again, Ishii's eating, man. He's eating good. He's loving life over here in the U.S. Loving it. After the match is when Takahashi would challenge Kyle Fletcher for the AEW TNT Championship at Forbidden Door. So we'll probably end up seeing that. Then we had another segment, not really a backstage segment. It was more like a beside the ring segment with Swerve Strickland. He was down there with Renee, always looking good, Renee. And he was being interviewed, and he was interrupted by Okada. They got a little heated exchange going about their match coming up at Forbidden Door, but security came out and separated them. And there you go. This right here is when we got the graphic for the match that I already showed you guys. This is where we got it. Then we had I guess you could call this kind of the main event, because the main event wasn't really a match. It was a beatdown outside. This was the main event match. This was the Ops against La Fashion Ingobernables. I'm not even going to try to say that. I don't even know who these guys are. LFI. The Ops took the win with a decent match, which led us into the end where MJF is attacking the hell out of Hangman in the parking lot, beating the shit out of him, throwing him into cars. Hangman was down. MJF didn't care. He kept going. And he looked in the camera, and he just told the camera and Hangman that we ain't seen nothing yet. So they're going to have a good match over there at Forbidden Door. That's going to be a pretty good match too, folks. But listen, next week we'll do some predictions on Forbidden Door. A few other things, obviously, we'll talk about, getting to whatever news is around. Smark should be back. Like I said, he had a few things pop up unexpectedly. He said everything was okay. That's always my first question make sure Smark's all right. But yeah, he had a little unexpected few things going on. So I'm gonna go ahead and take off, folks. I'm gonna wait and bring Hollywood Hangout back in September. I got a lot going on right now, new job. We just got rid of the animals. We have a lot of cleaning up to do. We busted our ass last weekend, and there's still more to do. I'm gonna try to get my pool going this weekend. That's kind of my goal. There's still a few weeks the kids can use the pool if I can get it rocking and rolling. So I need to drain it. I need to pressure wash it, clean it. It's gonna be a pain, but I'd like to get that done. So Hollywood Hangout will be coming back in a couple of weeks, folks, 100%. Um, and there you go with that. And just thanks everybody. I really appreciate everybody coming on in, listening. I appreciate all the downloads. Um, really awesome. Really appreciate it, everybody. And just, like, subscribe. We're getting closer and closer to being able to steal y'all's money with super chats. Look, I know I could go pay and get it, but I don't want to waste my money. And really, that that seems like cheating. I don't like to cheat. I don't want to do that. But anyway, folks, thanks again. Appreciate it. Chat room always thanks you guys. You guys always coming on in here. If you guys don't have anything else, I'm going to go ahead and take off. If that's all right with you guys, I got plenty I can still do. Last week when I got off the show, actually, I was still working. I stayed in here and went to work for a couple hours. Good thing about working from home / bad thing about working from home. So anyway, folks, thank you. See you, Smark. Hopefully you'll be back next week if you're listening. And thanks again, folks. And I will be back here next week, 9:30 p.m. Eastern time, right here, Wrestling Outlet, YouTube with Smark. Y'all have a great weekend. Be safe.